Hello everyone, my name is Noelle and welcome back to the channel. Before we start, I need to thank all of you for 1,000 subscribers, and at the time of writing this, we're almost at 2,000, and I cannot thank all of you enough. We're growing so quickly and we wouldn't be able to without all of you. I'd also like to announce that our Discord is now open, so if you're looking for somewhere to hang out and just talk to some of us and play some games, feel free to join. Earlier today we had a whiteboard group session, which is what you're seeing on screen now, and it was a ton of fun, so if any of that interests you, the link will be in the description, so make sure to join. During Your Place in Hell. It contains 4 different videos, each of which we're going to go over today, and we'll start with the most tame one and move along to eventually reach the worst one. Just a heads up though, 2 of these videos are fake, while the other 2 not so much, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So to start off, we're going to start with our first video, titled Exploding Varmints. Exploding varmints is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Exploding varmints. Not with explosives or anything, just what I'm assuming is his rifle. I'm sure some of you are wondering why this video is on here if it's just a hunting tape, which is definitely a good question. And the reason it's on here is because the man in the video was illegally shooting the gophers and the prairie dogs on other people's property, and would also purposely choose a higher caliber to make sure they would, well, explode. And let me tell you, this guy enjoys those explosions way too much, that's for sure. Whether that makes it worth being on here is of course up to you, but I would like to mention that there's a point where he says he's going to show us how to get permission to shoot the varmints on your neighbor's property, and then proceeds to never do that. It's kind of goofy, and I just wanted to mention it. According to the video, this comes from a company named Advanced Action Videos, and I tried hunting down a website, but I couldn't find one that was still up. They had a website called advancedlabs.com, and they did confirm themselves that they were the same company, but it seems like the original cast of people that filmed it are no longer there. In my opinion, this one isn't as bad as the rest by a long shot, so I'm not too sure why it's on here, but I guess not everyone can sit through blood and guts exploding like that. Now we're going to move on to something a little more grim, called Grave Robbing for Morons. This video was very unsettling for me to sit through because the amount of detail this guy goes into while messing with a deceased person's skull is ridiculous. He explains how when you go to split the jaw, you should do it through the eye sockets because if you do it with the jaw, the teeth will break off. This goes on for almost half an hour with him describing every little detail, like how to clean the skulls properly and how to tell if it's real or fake. Of course, there's a lot more in between, with him talking about how you go about stealing the bones without getting caught and that you should never leave witnesses. This is one of the videos at the start where I brought up the fact that some of these are fake, and that might include this one. The reason I say might is because the skull is very clearly real, just by taking a close look at the footage and examining the skull itself, and that it was made a little after 1987, which would make a prop that looks this good make it look like Van Gogh made it. But on the other side of the coin, we don't know who made this video or if they ever did anything else. I'm sure some of you had heard before that he almost says his last name. He goes Anthony Cass and he stops himself because, you know, it'd be stupid if he said his full name. People assume this guy was Anthony Cassimus, whatever the fuck that name is, oh my lord. Who was charged with robbing graveyard art and not real bones. It was believed to be him because they looked alike and the name slip up of course, but it's obviously not him. The ages wouldn't match up as Cass would have been 30 plus at the time of filming the video, instead of 18 to 21 like the Anthony in the video. So we're not sure who made the video or if they really are grave robbers, but I'm willing to bet it's probably real based off that skull alone. 3 out of 10, would not watch again. It only gets worse from here though, don't worry. Our next video on the list is Cooking with Huck Botko. Cooking with Huck Botko is a series of shorts made by Huck Botko, where he makes probably the most revolting food I've ever seen and feeds it to unsuspecting people. And I don't mean like some nasty raw hamburger or something, I'm talking like premeditated disasters. I'm going to explain 2 of the videos in detail, so be ready for it. In this video, Huck decides he's going to make his sister a nice cheesecake, which he does, but once it's finished, he heads over to meet a group of people who turn out to all have different types of blood diseases. He gets all of them to put their blood on top of the cake and then brings it to his sister's party and has everyone eat it. So keep in mind that not only was he feeding his sister this infected blood, but he was also feeding everyone else the same thing. So everyone there got poisoned along with his sister. So it was pretty awful. The next video, he decided to make a pie for his brother because we find out that he absolutely hates his brother. So his brilliant plan was to have male porn stars, you know, like come on it and then fed it to his entire family. You can see why this is on here. The videos are just him pretty much spreading diseases to other people through the food he makes, and it's unhinged. Luckily this one's fake though, as the creator Huck Botko is actually an actor and director. He actually has an IMDb page and is credited for working on several movies. Luckily this one isn't real, but the stuff that they did to the food was, and they show all of it, so it's extremely revolting going through it. So now that we're done with that one, we can move on to our last and worst video, Mortuary of the Dead. This video is a 30-minute film that was recorded in 1992 and follows two teenagers breaking into a morgue. At the beginning, it's just them looking around, but eventually they stumble across infants that are being preserved in glass jars, severed heads, and even mutilated bodies. To keep it short, this video is awful and it's actually real, so that makes it even worse to sit through. The origins of the video are completely unknown, and that's pretty much all that's in it, so I don't have much to say. But if there's one thing I have to say about it, just don't watch it. Unless you want to, of course. I can't stop you, but fair warning, it's fucking horrendous. You know the worst part is it's like 30 minutes long. It was like half an hour of my life I spent watching that. Like it's just now hitting me now how long that fucking was. Let me just say, sitting through that entire collection was an experience that I'll never forget, that's for sure. So I hope it was worth it. I guess it's the most I can do for all of your guys' support. It means the world to me, and I'll make sure to keep pushing out content as much as I can. I appreciate every single one of you, and I mean that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, and as always, have a good rest of your day, and see you later.